Laundry's on, kids are tired, I'm tired, I need a break. We're gonna work on the car. Welcome guys, another video. Today we're putting that seat right in here. Now we've got a little bit to do first. I have done a bit of a, I guess you call pre-preparation for this video. And how we're going to mount this seat is a little bit different to how some other people mount it. Only because we've changed the floor pan, we've taken out some mounts, we've plated the floor just so I can mount my seat flush to the floor and as low as possible. So, how are we going to mount this seat? I have some steel plates here. Now it's 50mm wide steel, 3mm thick, and I've cut them to around 100mm long, maybe just over 100mm. So regulations state that counterplates for these cars, when you mount seats directly to the floor in an unreinforced section of the floor pan, you can mount them directly to the floor. They must be counterplated with 40 square centimeter counterplates. These right here, 50 centimeter square centimeter counterplate. So these are going to go between the seat rails and the chassis. And then underneath, I have some 5mm thick aluminium plate that I'm going to cut up to size, and we'll be sticking those underneath. So the bolts will go through these. I'll cut some holes, and I'll go through and secure the floor pan underneath. So you may be wondering why I went for steel underneath the seat and aluminium underneath. Well, first of all, went for aluminium just for the weight. It's quite light, so that'll be going underneath once I cut it up. And steel, even though it's heavier, when I get the seat mounting position right, it actually almost keeps the bottom of the seat touching the floor pan. I reckon there's probably a pension card width between the seat and the floor pan, which I'm going to put a little bit of foam underneath there, keep it nice and safe, so I'm down as low as possible. It's almost perfect with 3mm steel, and then the 5mm underneath. It's nice and thick, strong and light. So, first thing to do, I've got these measured up, where I need the holes cut. I've got them punched, and we're going to go outside to our drill press and start drilling some holes.
Hey, I got a confession. Been losing all momentum. Just because it's easy, but that don't make it better. I wanna dig my hands deep down in the dirt, take a walk along the street if I'm feeling dessert. All of this convenience just doesn't work for me. I wanna play with fire, let me get hurt. Can we take it?
Drill press is an absolute weapon when it comes to drilling these nice holes. I picked this up, and my wife picked it up for me for Father's Day, and probably so far it's been one of the best things I could use on this, because the holes are nice and straight, clean, and nice and precise. So I've got our 4 counterplates that go between the seat and the chassis. Now they're a little bit offset. They look like they're in the middle, but some of the holes are just fractionally offset towards one side. So now it's just time to go and get them mounted in the car, and then once we get them in the car we can drill holes and then get it all mounted up, and then once that's done we pull it all apart and we paint these counterplates, get them all looking schmick, and then we'll put them back in. Alright, so these are our seat brackets that mount to the side of our seat. Now if you look underneath, you can just see our plates sitting underneath there like that. If I flip this over, these are all a bit scratched up from being in the car. I've just got some double-sided tape here, so when I actually mount these back up to the seat and put it in the car, I'll pull the other side off, and hopefully with any luck these will stick down to a point where the side mounts will just slide off the seat and I can pull the whole seat out, and these brackets will stay in place so I can actually get a good idea of where I need to drill my holes through these ones here. So now all we need to do is just mount these back up to the seat, pull our tape off and stick it in the car. But before I do that, I've got to do some stuff to the roll cage here. So you see this tape, I've got some special paint protection stuff to put over there. It's actually called leading edge tape. They use it on the leading edges of helicopter blades in the military. Super stout stuff. So I'm going to put that across there and put a bit of foam, because the back of my seat actually sits against the roll cage. I don't want to rub through, so I'll put some heli tape there, some leading edge tape, and then put some of this foam, just some closed cell foam, either on the back of the seat or on the roll cage. So when the seat rests up against it, it doesn't damage either the seat or the roll cage. So we'll do that now while we let this tape stick to the seat brackets. Alright, you can probably just see it there. I've just got it, there's a few little tiny air bubbles there where the cage was just nicked when I was getting it in and out, when I was putting the cage in. But this stuff now, you can literally try and drive a pen or a knife through it and it will not break. It's incredibly strong stuff. So I've got it there, and we'll I've just wrapped it right kind of towards the back and underneath, and I'll put the tape, the foam just there. So when we put the seat in, it's not going to rub, but also the harness shouldn't rub on the cage as well. So we'll put the foam on it now and then start mounting the seat.
I've been signing on the city lights. All this doubt around me, damn it, look, I got it right. Don't you try to hit me, now you live a petty life. All those nights I laid awake, I pray for better life. Now I wake up with a baddie like I said I might. This a better life, you never tried, I bet it right. This a better life, you never tried, I bet it right. You been stuck just where you at because you never tried. Want a better life, I had to try, I bet it right. Yeah, I just took a chance and yeah, let me write. Look, I just took a chance and yeah, I rolled the dice. Yeah, women, I'll be bad because the folk was nice.
Alright, so it's just dummy fit in there now, and you can see how well, I've got the padding there on the back, sitting up there nice on the foam either side. It's just loosely fit in there right now, but it's actually quite sturdy. I've just got to do up some bolts underneath, but what we have to do now is make our aluminium counterplates to go up underneath the car. But I'm really happy with the way that fits. It's a really tight fit, actually. It's really good. So, oh, you say, oh, do you like the look of that? No. Alright, I'm just going to leave it there for the day. I'll catch up tomorrow. I've got some stuff to do, and then I'll pick it up tomorrow. Alright guys, I'm in a basketball singlet today. I've just come home from being out at the new track, watching some XLs get around, so I got a bit sunburnt. So thought I'd throw on a basketball singlet to do the rest of this video, because it was starting to irritate me and I'm sweating and hot and I just want to get this done. So, new counterplates for underneath the car. Now this is 5mm aluminium. Cut those up. These are going to sit towards the back of the car. These will be towards the front, so I can have frontal impact. These will then hold the seat in place there. They all meet regulations. These are 65 by 65 mil, which is 40 centimeters squared. These are I think 100 by 65, which is a little bit bigger again. And then our counterplates for underneath the seat are outside, just down there. They're out there drying as well. Inside the car, I gave a bit of a tidy up, spray painted the floor again, put some paint in the holes where our seat mounts will go, so we can so it won't rust. And then painted some stuff underneath the car, and now it's almost time to start putting our all our mats back in. One thing I did do is on the bottom of the seat, because the seat sits so close to the floor pan, or essentially on it, I just put a few strips of foam on the bottom of the seat just to protect it, and also just to take up that tiny little bit of extra space between the floor pan and the seat. So now it's time to check if our counterplates out there are dry, and then start mounting things all up again. So it's after being out there at the track today and seeing all the cars, it's so nice and so cool to see all the progress people are making on their cars, and I really want to get this thing done as soon as possible. And in reality, there's only a few little things we need to do, and mounting the seat is one of them. So let's get to it. Counterplates for between the chassis and the seat rails, they're all painted up. So they are, that's 3mm mild steel, so you can see the difference. You are allowed to use 3mm mild steel. You can use 5mm aluminium, so we decided we'd go for both of them. So these will be for in the car, these are for underneath the car, and we'll start to mount them up now. So I'll grab our first seat rail right here, and we'll get that ready for in the car. Oh no, that ain't good. That's alright, I'll just make sure that that one's the right one. That way is correct. So I'll take these, I'll get down here, and we'll just place them over the hole. Like so, and we'll get a bolt just to center them. Like so. Alright, get our plate. Oh, wash off. Go. All right. Now comes the fun part of putting the counterplates on underneath. All right, here we go. Tell you what, I'm so thankful I have long arms. Right, seat time. Let's take these out for a moment. Alright, here we go. See how we do. Alright, perfect. There's the first one in. Won't do them up too tight. So I've got to put the other side in now. Alright, time to do them up. All right. Oh, buddy. That is awesome. And look at that. That's nice and firm. That is not going anywhere. And that is now done. That seat is nice and firmly in there. The ticking noise you hear is just the harness slot moving around, but I'm extremely happy with the way this has turned out. We'll be putting in a harness in. The harness will run through that top part just there, through that hole, back to that harness bar, all the way back there. We can't mount it to this bar just here because the angle is too high across my shoulders. So we'll run it straight through to that bar down there, which is no problem at all. But I've got the headroom now, heaps, stacks of room up here, stacks of room down beside, down here, and room here to put a radio if needed. But this is coming out so good. I'm extremely happy with the way this is panning out. So until next time, guys, I will see you later. Have a fantastic week. If you're building a car, keep at it. It does take a bit of time, but when it comes together, the results are awesome, especially if you just take your time. If you are wondering what I did for a bit of more in-depth detail on these counterplates to mount your seat to the floor, by all means, leave a comment or jump on Instagram or Facebook, shoot me a message and I'll be able to walk you through some stuff. But it's super simple. It takes a bit of time, but if you want to spend a bit of time to lower your seat as much as possible, this is a perfect way of doing it. So harness next. I've got a few other things we're going to do before we get it out on track, but this is one step closer to be able to go out and take it to race. So until next time, guys, I will see you later.
I'm in the big leagues, told her don't miss me, ballin' like Houston.